Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about best first time cars for teenagers, or we can also kind of put a slash there, or slash best cheap cars for commuting, because you may not be just looking for that teenager's first car, but you also could be looking for a good economical car to drive around, get you from point A to point B without having to get a second mortgage or pay these outrageous prices. So let's get into it. There's been a lot of videos on this subject, but they're a few years old now, done by other YouTubers and things like that. But I kind of want to bring a fresh take into it, or more modern take, especially in these times that we're in. The days of the $2,000 beater with a heater are pretty much gone, unless you got an extra 10 grand laying around to get it going. So to be as real as it could be with these modern times, a good option, and the number one recommended car, which teenagers don't really like them, young people ain't gonna like them, and that's the Buick LeSabre. While I agree that those are great cars and they're for what you get out of them, they're getting long in the tooth as far as you're not able to find good examples anymore. But if y'all out there can find that diamond in the rough Buick LeSabre with low mileage still, by all means go for it. But that's really why it's kind of a honorable mention. But yes, I do agree that the Buick LeSabre is a great choice. But moving on to more modern choices, I'll save the best for last, since I actually own one, and I'll turn the camera around and show you. But I would go for any Toyota Corolla is going to be a good bet. But obviously the newer ones are going to be up there in price. But any 2010 and up Toyota Corolla would make a good first car. The Matrix is a good car, but they're an older car, so they're kind of in that Buick LeSabre category where it's going to be hard to find them with lower mileage. The Mazda 3, like 2010 and up Mazda 3s, they're great cars. You can get them cheaper than the Toyota branded Corolla on the used market. They're going to be a couple grand cheaper to purchase. Also, the Honda Civic is always a great option, but stay away from like 07 to 09. They had transmission issues with those. But if you go like 2012 and up Honda Civic, you'll be okay there. The only thing with Honda Civic, well, with Honda in general, they still use timing belts. So you're going to have that around 100,000 mile timing belt interval to kind of have to deal with, which is kind of pricey, but it's worth it. It's worth it to deal with the timing belt issue timing belt maintenance replacement with a Honda Civic, as opposed to buying something else that's going to nickel and dime you to death every other month. So, the Honda Civic is still a good option. Honda Accord, a good option. Of course, the Camry. But if you really want to spend very little money and get an ultra reliable, easy on maintenance vehicle, look at Scion. Of course, Scion is a subsidiary of Toyota, and I would say, in my book, in my opinion, the Scions are the current times Buick LeSabre. They're the one that you're going to be able to get cheaper because the brand is discontinued, but it's still a Toyota. and it's still going to give you reliability, and it's going to give you cheap, easy maintenance and cheap parts, and very rarely going to break down on you. Now, I will say this: any grandma car, or grandpa car for that matter, that's been owned by an old person that's maybe passed on and the family's trying to get rid of it, that's barely been used, barely been driven, that's always going to be the best bet. The best way to go is to buy that. But regardless of what it is, I'll just say that, regardless of whatever it is, if it's elderly person owned, cared for, things like that, you can't go wrong for what you can get some of these for. And I know sometimes with estate sales, sometimes people value it very high. Sometimes people want to sell it cheap just to move it. So keep your eye out for that. If you're looking for a first-time car or a cheap vehicle for yourself, look for those elderly-owned vehicles that people are just trying to move. I would seek out those first, but if you're not having any luck and you're kind of pressed for time on trying to round up something, then consider the Mazda 3s, Corollas, Camrys, Accords. Now, my rule and my advice is don't buy anything with more than around 130,000 miles. That's purchase. Now, I made videos in the past that I said, around 175 to 180 is the offload point to get maximum value. But we're talking about when you initially acquire the vehicle. I don't recommend buying anything with over 130,000 miles. Because, to me, if you buy with 130,000 miles and you check the maintenance history, you check the title history. Hold on a second, we've got a truck rolling through here. But if you check the title history and the maintenance history and everything checks out okay, then 130,000 miles is probably the max that I would purchase a vehicle with my experience. But always get like a pre-purchase inspection. I know y'all are not going to be in the area where I can do it for you, but seek out someone who can give you a pre-purchase inspection if you're not mechanically savvy yourself. That way you can get another set of eyes to maybe overlook things, because it's easy to, in that moment when you're arrive and you're looking over a vehicle, to get a little overexcited and miss something, and then you don't see it until a week or two after you got it home and things like that. So trust me, I've been there, I've done it when I was younger. So yeah, I just want to make this video to kind of give you a modern day take on what I would recommend to shop for if I was looking for a budget friendly vehicle. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Oh, I almost forgot. I meant to turn around the camera and show you. Actually, I have a 2015 Scion TC myself. And in my opinion, it ranks number 2 behind the Buick LeSabre as one of the easiest cars to work on. They really designed it for the DIY, do your own wrenching, replace your own parts person. Everything's well designed, well laid out, easy to get to, things like that. So anyway, until next time, have a great one.